So my friends own a couple own a winery and a vineyard, and just blew up from there. And we applied for a license and bought the property, and went into the business. Took about a year from deciding to open up a winery to actually selling wine. It took about a year.
It's a lovely location. If you've not been there, you need to go out. He's a very good host. He'll let you try anything. And you have how many offerings?
We've got about 18 now,
18.
all the way from dry Cabernets to all the way up to real sweet, blackberry and muscadina.
Yes.
Muscadines.
I love the fruit flavors myself, and that's just my personal opinion, but there are lots and lots of others to choose from. Tell me what is the most popular?
Well, the Ocoee Red, which is a Concord wine, it for the sweet wine drinkers, it's pretty popular, along with the muscadines are real popular, especially with people from the South. They love muscadine.
Absolutely.
I grew up sampling muscadine wine. I won't say drinking. I was underage sampling muscadine wine. I had my grandparents made it,
Yeah,
and my uncle had vines.
that's kind of what got me started in it, and my friends liked what I was doing so much, and one thing led to another. I love muscadines too. They're really good for you.
They really are, and if you really like muscadines, you need to freeze them and try them frozen. They are an explosion of sweetness in your mouth when they're frozen.
Yeah.
It's just delicious. But I agree, it's really now. Does it run per season as to what you're selling the most of, or do people generally just find a good one and that they like and stick with it?
It's during the season, the harvest season, it seems like people seem to come in for the muscadines, and I don't know if it's an innate thing or something. Then when wintertime comes, people are drinking reds, and then springtime comes, they start drinking white wine, and it seems to be the sales seem to be more like that.
Right.
But
Now, that being said, you are a very good host, and you do offer people whatever they want to taste. But let's talk about the difference between the wine that you have in your store as opposed to what's in the grocery store.
well, the grocery store wines they're normally a little less alcohol than ours, and they're also got a lot more preservatives than what we put in our wine, because they expect to have a shelf life of however long it is till it sells. And most of the wines come from California and Australia, and they're dry wines, and they're more, we call it industrial. We have small batches, and we take a lot more care with what we're doing versus a big industrial complex that's pumping out thousands and thousands of gallons a day.
Right. Now, let's address, do you make your own wine, or is it purchased, or how does the process start?
Well, we make it all there. We either buy fruit or juice and bring it in and ferment it. It usually sets for about a year before we try to do any bottling or with it, any further processing. But like I said, our process is a whole lot different than some big industrial complexes, doing a lot of wine.
Right.
You make all your wine on site there?
Yes, it's all handcrafted, is what people like
Okay.
to call it.
So each wine, I know there's different variations. Each one has a different recipe, we'll call it, like they have different times of fermentation, or
Yeah, but the white wines ferment different than the red wines, and as far as recipes, we kind of rely on what the farmer gives us, because what we purchase from them. We don't have a vineyard, so I have to go around and find juice or fruit
Sure.
and I go as far as Michigan, New York. We try to buy stuff as local as possible, and just for the economics of it, and we'd rather help the Tennessee agricultural people than the New York agricultural people. But there's a lot of stuff that won't grow around here.
There's some grapes that won't grow in our
Right.
climate no matter what, right?
And so we go to places with it, where they can grow a good Merlot or a good Cabernet, and purchase the fruit from them. But then we bring it back to the winery, and we do all the wine making there.
Can you give us an idea of not exactly, but a rough idea of how big is the wine making process as far as grape growing in Tennessee and agricultural?
It's been growing quite a bit over the years. In the past 10 years, I don't remember the exact number of
Right.
small independent wineries, but there's quite a few of them, and all across the state. And Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, I think there's about a dozen of them up there now. And but with that and the recent moonshine movement, where people are making moonshine, it seems to be growing too. They're kind of underneath the same license, but it's got. We don't have anything like that at our place, but it's gotten to be, pretty big.
And I have one question. What do you think the soil in Tennessee has to offer for the flavor and the taste of wine that you can't find in some of these places you're talking about, like New York and California? What do you think is unique to this soil and this environment that makes the wine have its own unique kind of flavor?
Well, I'm probably not the best person to answer that, because I'm
I think it very,
a winemaker more than a farmer.
Right.
Right.
But the muscadines are the big deal around here, and you can get blueberries and blackberries and stuff like that. But the water here is more of an asset than anything.
I see.
Because the water is limestone water.
Right.
And it makes it a lot easier for winemaking when you start with that kind of water than you do with having water problems somewhere else. Michigan, of course, has a terrible water problem, but we got good water around here for winemaking, and you got to have that in the process.
that's we got a neighbor to the north here is known for not wine but whiskey.
I was just about to say
The
that.
water is what
Right.
the reason he's there.
Yeah, on the tour itself of that distillery, that's the first place they take you is, let me show you the source
Right.
that we get our water, because if we didn't have this, our product would not taste the way that it tastes.
Right.
And they really attributed that to being,
Limestone-
yeah. So maybe it's
limestone
maybe
water
it's not the
for-
actual soil, maybe it's the
Right.
water that makes it unique.
And and of course the farmers, how they handle the fruit and
Sure.
stuff is a big thing. Like I said, we try to purchase stuff locally, but there's just stuff you can't buy locally that in the quantity that I needed it. So.
Well, and that being said, if you purchase, as for instance, blueberries locally, blueberries blueberries raised here would be better than, say, in Illinois, for instance, because Illinois has very black, rich, dense soil, and blueberries require an acidic, soft, grainy soil. So that would be part of it also.
Well, we're heading up to the top of the hour here, so we're going to take a quick break here for a few minutes, and then when we get back, let's talk about some of your products. You mentioned the how many you had, and we can cover some of those, and you brought some with you here, I think, that we can show off, and you can tell us about what you brought here,
Okay.
and we'll do that. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back.
We're back with Steve Hunt, and he's from Ocoee Winery. Steve, there are some very specific things geared toward what your business is, as opposed to a wine drinker that is going to the grocery store. So if you have Sunday company and you forgot to buy the wine, tell us what your hours are and why you can be open on Sundays.
Well, we're open 7 days a week, and we're also open on the holidays, and we're considered an agritourism business. And
Cool term.
yeah,
Cool term.
that we're allowed to be open 7 days a week. We can have wine sales 7 days a week, and we're not restricted as much as the grocery stores are, and which gives us a little advantage, especially on Sunday and holidays.
Sure.
Grocery stores have to quit their sales.
So there's still blue laws that keep the grocery stores from selling wine
Selling.
on Sunday, right?
Right.
Okay.
And Steve is by far the quintessential let me help you guy, because he was sharing with me yesterday that somebody called on Christmas and he met them there. And
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, well, my family was kind of acting up, so it was time to leave.
You needed a break anyways, right? I know those Christmas afternoons get.
But they said they needed some wine. I was like, well, I'll meet you there in an hour.
So I'm not a wine drinker much. I've had some, but it's not something that I know a lot about, and I think that's probably the reason why we usually don't drink it. I know a lot of cultures and other cultures, you're not going to eat a meal unless there's wine on the table. And then here in America, there's a lot of families that are the same way. Wine's going to be served with dinner, especially. And then usually, if you have a big dinner and you have friends over, you're talking 3 different wines or 4 different wines through the course of the meal. So I would think you need to know a little bit about wine. So without someone like me, if I walk in there, I don't know the first thing. Could I get some help from you if I'm trying to plan an event or a nice dinner and I need to know what I should be looking at as far as a wine to complement that?
Right. Well, kind of the rule of thumb, and it's real easy to remember. Red wine goes with red meat. White wine goes with white meat. Makes it simple. Except when you get
every
with
time
pork.
we have a
Nobody
pasta,
ever told me that.
every time we have a pasta at my house, I always have a nice glass of white. But I'm usually doing macaroni and cheese and milk.
Oh, well.
So that's the pasta that we do.
White
at our
goes
house,
with
mac
top
and cheese.
ramen too, you know. But one advantage about getting wine out at our winery instead of the grocery store is that you get to taste it.
Oh,
and,
nice.
and one of the big deals is, do you like what you're drinking?
Mm.
And you can't go to the grocery store and taste wine without being arrested. Because they won't let you open a bottle of wine in the grocery store.
Right.
You can't even open a Coke in a grocery store. But out at the winery, you get to taste test the wines, and so you'll figure out what you like, and that's the biggest thing. If you want white wine with a steak, that's fine.
So you're speaking my language, because I know there's like these rules and there's etiquette, but I'm with you. If I don't like it, I'm probably
Right.
not going to get it. So you're saying it's okay to bend the rules and just buy what you want to drink
Right,
with what
drink-
you're eating.
Yeah, if you don't like it, there's no reason to drink it. And at the grocery store, the only thing that you can tell is how pretty the label is,
Sure.
and maybe the color of the wine. That's all you can tell about it, unless you've had that certain wine before. And the wine changes a little bit from batch to batch, so you run that risk too. At least with our place, you get to taste exactly what that batch is that you're purchasing. Even though it's the same name of wine, it might taste different from the last time that you had it, just because our batch has changed. And that same thing happens with grocery store wine. You might have had
Sure.
Australian wine that you really liked a couple of years ago, and then you get one from somewhere else and it won't taste the same.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's a different batch, a
Yep.
different
Different
season.
year of growing. This year the grapes are really good because of the dry weather. It's concentrated the sugars, concentrated the flavors, and everybody else is hating this dry weather. Well, the farmers and the
wine
vineyards,
growers really like it.
everybody growing grapes is real impressed with this year's grape crop. Is going to be
Because
really good.
that'll make a really sweet grape, won't it? Without there's not the water in there. It just
Right.
condenses
Yeah, it concentrates.
concentrates.
everything.
Yeah. Well, tell us what you got here in front of you. Then.
Okay,
What do you have, and then where would you complement this with a certain food, or just this
Well,
is good drinking wine?
this one's a dry wine. It's a Cynthiana. We've got a half dozen dry wines, and you might notice a difference in the closure. This is corked the old-fashioned way, what we call it. The
Okay.
traditional cork is put in here and sealed. We do all our dry wines with corks. The sweet wine, we use what's called a Zork. It's an easy opening top. You just peel the top off, and it has a reusable stopper. And everybody loves it. You don't have to carry a corkscrew with you if you're going camping or whatever. If you forget a corkscrew, you're not trying to run a nail through it or something, trying to get the thing out. I've heard so many stories about how people open wine that
then they have to pour it through a coffee filter and get all the cork out of it,
or
right?
through your teeth and keep the glass out. And then this is our blackberry wine, and it's made from fresh blackberries, and it is really popular.
And it's really yummy.
Yeah, I've had that one.
It's really yummy.
Yeah, it starts sweet and has a tart finish to it, just like when you eat a blackberry out in the woods. It's got that tartness at the end, and we go through a lot of that. And another dry wine that we have is a Cabernet Sauvignon. I got the grapes from out in Arkansas, and people don't think of Arkansas being a grape growing region. Well, there's a family out there that's been growing grapes since I think they started in 1887.
Oh my.
And they've had a vineyard and vineyards, and I think they've got 23 vineyards out there now.
Wow.
Anyway, we get grapes from them, and if you think about it, Napa Valley if it wasn't for all the valleys and the moisture coming in out of the ocean, you couldn't grow anything out there. Well, the same thing's in the Ozark Mountains. They've got the same type of climate. They've got valleys going up into Ozarks, and that's where this guy's vineyards are at. And so I get Cabernet Sauvignon grapes from this guy, and it's really good. That's my favorite out of the dry wine bunch. Anyway.
Okay.
And then the
Other thing that I was very impressed with is, and I go back to, I love the fact that Cleveland and the surrounding community has so many fun things to do. That being said, I was visiting with Steve yesterday, and he had customers there, and she was originally from Florida, but lives here now, and she had friends visiting from Florida, and that's where she took them, was to Steve's place, to the winery, to taste and try and see what Steve does. And the other nice thing that we need to point out is if you need that really great gift that nobody else is going to have, come see Steve. He's got glasses that will complement what you're purchasing, but he's also got, his wife has a very cute little boutique, I guess maybe is what we would call it. And if you just want to have some wine and go back and look at what she's got lots of giggles, is what I call it. She's got lots of little cute little sayings everywhere, and it's a very, very low stress afternoon, right?
Yeah, it's her gift shop's called Martha's Cupboard, and we kind of describe it as an eclectic combination of jewelry and jelly, Sweetwater cheese, and elk salami.
So more local fare too.
Yeah, and pickled okra to glasses, and she's got a whole jewelry section, and people come in and it's not expensive jewelry. It's just costume type jewelry.
Yeah, I've seen on the website. I saw a picture of that gift shop. It's really nice.
And she's got wonderful little pictures and plaques that you can hang on the wall that, especially for women, it makes them giggle. Let's just say that.
And we have some hand painted stuff too from local artists.
Right, the wine glasses.
Yeah.
Those are very pretty.
Well, Steve, I appreciate you coming in today, and I appreciate all the information. So it sounds like if you want to know more about wine, you're the place to go. If you want to sample some wine and see what the different flavors are, you're the place to go. If you need wine in a pinch, you're the place to go. And if you just want the absolute best service, as far as somebody that would open up on Christmas Day and bail you out, not a jail, but bail you out of a situation. Maybe if you know you well enough, you might bail us out too, right?
Oh yeah, I've been known to do that. And also the gift shop will do baskets too, gift
nice.
baskets. We can include the wine in the gift baskets and whatever out of the gift shop. She can put it all together,
And even the basket is there that you can choose.
I know,
she's
we
got
have
her
the
baskets
baskets
there.
Designed it right there.
Absolutely.
And we usually can do it pretty quickly too.
Okay.
She has lovely scarves, and if a book reader and you like a good bottle of wine, there's nothing better for me than a glass of wine in my book. So she's got books, and it's a wonderful place to go hang out.
Well, awesome. Well, tell us again where people can find you.
Okay, if you go out Inman or out 64 Highway toward the river, it's about 3 miles on the left-hand side on the north side of 64. And like I said, we're open 7 days a week. We're up on a hillside. You can't miss us. We got a big sign there, and it's easy to spot us up on the hill.
And so a lot of people right now will be going out to like the river maze, the corn maze. I think this year it's actually a soybean maze, but they call it the river maze for that reason.
It's not very tall. It should be easy to complete.
So on your way out there, on your way back, it's a perfect. You're halfway in between the city and there, basically. Just
We're
stop
basically
in.
halfway between 411 and 64.
Okay.
On the north side, right there by Howard Thompson's flea market. Everybody knows where that's at. We're just about a half a block up from that.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in. Appreciate the info, and we hope a lot of people will come out there and check you out for the first time, or just make sure they're stopping in to get their wine.
Yep.
And again, the
bring
coolest
their
thing is you
friends.
can taste them all before you buy. A lot of people go to the grocery store, and like you said, they just look at the labels. And sometimes they won't even try a new product because they're afraid they won't like it. And
Right.
so
And,
a lot of times they'll find a wine that they think they like or they sort of like, and that's the only wine they'll ever buy because they've had that one and they don't want to try a different one.
All right. Well, you end up having to go home and marinate a chicken with it
Yeah.
because it doesn't taste good enough to drink. It's kind of
So-
expensive.
Well, yeah, that's an expensive marinator.
It is.
Well, again, thanks for coming in, and we will be taking a quick break here, do a little studio change and the set change. We got some new guests coming in here.
Yep, we're going to be joined by our legal commentator, Jim Logan. We'll be joined by the host of Man Up America, J. Adam Lowe, and our political commentator, MJ.
Man Up America did an episode yesterday about firearms.
Great
So,
episode.
Yesterday we had firearms. Today we have alcohol. We need a tobacco episode.
Yeah.
We'll have the
We're gonna
whole
call
the
Warren
trifecta,
Morris.
right? The ATS
Well, it's
Yeah.
vaping anymore, so you
Right.
have to get a
Yeah.
vaping
We'll get the Mountain
expert
Oak
in.
vape store to run by.
There
So.
you go.
All right, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.